You know that slow ticking sound of climbing that roller coaster to get to the top? Yeah, well, call that roller coaster July. We're going to talk about the energies of July today. Now, don't panic, because sometimes we can equate roller coasters with like crazy rides and things like this, but that's going to be my analogy today because it's pretty fitting. January, February, March, April, May, click, 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 click. We are at the top of the roller coaster, and it's not necessarily going to be panic. It might be wind in the hair, right? Wheels are greased. We'll get into it today. And I want to share a story with you. This is a little chuckle. I am going to be, this is in the category of confession. So I am going to be confessing something about maybe getting in trouble with my guide. And then that same guide is going to come back and share some of the energies that are in the air this week for you. All right, we got this. Let's do it. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. Today we're going to be talking about the July energies. What can we expect? How can we navigate it? What the heck? And as you've heard, I'm going to be using the roller coaster as an analogy here. But first, I want to say a huge thank you. I know some of you are listening to this on a podcast channel, which is awesome. Thank you for being a subscriber. I just want to say a thank you to the YouTube subscribers. This podcast channel on YouTube just hit 100,000 subscribers like last week. And it was a surreal moment for me. Like I started this because I thought I could help. And then I started having fun with it. And then next thing you know, there's like 100,000 of you that are like, thumbs up, Bo. So I'm taking that as keep going forward, keep going. Obviously, you heard I'm expanding even more to medium on the move. My goal is for you to be able to watch or listen to this podcast every week, get some knowledge, get some tools, apply them to your life, and improve your spiritual path. So I think that's a gesture that says that I'm doing it, and I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get away from the mushy stuff. Let's get back to business. July. Now, I started with the analogy of the roller coaster, okay? We're going to click, 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 click. And it's a slow click because it's the whole beginning of this year and actually probably December last year too. So December, January, February, March, April, May. We got the slow click up this roller coaster. Now we're at the top. Now July comes. The wheels are greased. What does that mean? That means that you've done the work. You've done the work, you've put in the time, you've woken up, you've done the inner work, you've started to see in the last couple of months, because wow, it's been a ride, right? You've started to see things for what they really are. You've started to see your life, the people in it, what you're passionate about through a different lens. And as a result of it, you've reached the top of the roller coaster. Now, everybody's going to have a different roller coaster ride. Bear with me here. Bear with me. But we're all unique. We're all unique. And so we're all going to have a different roller coaster ride. What I can say is that in July, when we come up over the top of this and start either, plummeting or gently gliding, we'll go with gently gliding. Okay. So we're gently gliding over, right on down, picking up speed, wind in the hair, smile on the face. If you don't like roller coasters, just pretend you do for this analogy. And everyone's roller coaster from that point forward is going to be very different. That's a way of saying that collectively, through this spiritual awakening process that we've been going through, we've all been climbing the roller coaster, all of us. Now, there's a couple lads that, their roller coaster's still at the bottom, repeating on the first clink, and it just really never snapped into gear to get that chain caught so it could climb up the top. I get that, but everybody's life is different. Everyone's role here is different. Some people's role is to have very little change in their lives, and some people's role is to have a lot of change in your life. I'm going to put you in that category because I know you're in there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this or listening to this. What that means is, how do you know you have so much change? How do you appreciate the growth and the development you've gone through if you don't have a comparison? So we say thank you to the comparison. I have heard people talk about people who are going to wake up in this spiritual awakening or who have already awoken, and then people who are not going to wake up at all. And sometimes that can be viewed through the lens of judgment. What do you mean they're not going to wake up? Oh, that's not a good thing. Actually, it is. It really is. So no matter where you are, if you're the person still clicking on that first link in the chain and it's not really catching to climb the roller coaster, that's okay. That's okay. Probably was decided beforehand anyway. There's a support out of that we sometimes don't pay attention to. If you've climbed all the way to the top, that's the hard work you did. Guess what? You decided to do that before you came down here too. So we're all different. And I'm just saying, for those that have walked through a spiritual awakening, who have chosen to learn about themselves deeply, their programming, how they're wired, what they do, for the people who have, I'm going to say this very specifically, for the people who have taken that invitation in this spiritual awakening, those people are at the top of the roller coaster right now. And not everybody wants to ride this roller coaster. So we say, cool, right? So wherever you're at, again, if you're listening to this, you're at the top of the roller coaster. Now, we're going to tip over. So what this is a very long-winded way of saying that, yes, there's a spiritual awakening happening. It's been happening for a number of years. Now we're at that point where we start to glide, gently glide into a new way of living. Now, quick review, okay? Then we're going to talk about what this hill on the roller coaster is going to feel like and what we're going to experience in the month of June in more detail. Quick review, it's been about 10 years now. That's an estimate where the earth, the world said energetically, we're going to shake this first up, okay? So we shook it up, and I love the analogy of a bucket of water, right? So think of like a dark gray bucket and it's full of water, so you can't see down to the bottom. And the universe said about 10 years ago, I'm going to shake this bucket up. Not even that long. It was probably like 2018 when the bucket got shook. Okay. Then 2019, 2020 came, and we started to see all the muck that was on the bottom of that bucket come up throughout the world. That was hard and it was difficult. And we experienced so many difficult things through the pandemic, through division, through, there's a list, okay? We're not a global channel here. Like, we don't talk about global issues, but the muck came up. This could be in your job. There's 3 employees, including you, and all of a sudden the muck came up, like, exposed. So we all look at it and we say, that's not good. We don't want to continue in this path. And then we've had a long path of, I wish it was faster, but it wasn't, change. Here you are today. So this is my request of you right now as I'm talking to you. Here we are today, knowing ourselves better than we did, 8 years ago. Go back to like 2020, right? Compared to today, 2026. And what I want you to do right now is literally think of that. What was going on in 2020 for you? What's going on for you now? And I don't mean like, are you having better luck? Are you having whatever? Do you know yourself better? Do you know what you really want? Do you know what you don't want? Do you see shenanigans more clearly, right? Where you look and you're like, I see shenanigans. No, thank you. Did you see those shenanigans in 2020 out of people? Maybe not. Maybe not. The wisdom you've gained, the knowledge you've gained, and the skills that you've gained is big. And I need you to give yourself that minute to recognize that, because that, my amazing friend, is the top of the roller coaster. So you can't get to the top of it unless you know who you are. We are never perfect on this channel. You don't need to know everything. You just have to confess, admit, honor the fact that you know a whole lot more today than you did in 2020 about yourself. Okay, now forward. Let's go over the edge of this roller coaster. Now, everyone's going to experience it different, like I said. And this is because everybody has a different opinion on a roller coaster. Everybody wants to experience it different. I will say, in general, 95% of this experience is going to be exactly the way you want it. 5% of it, little kinks in life. That happens. We decide to come down here and don this gorgeous suit of a body. And the minute you do that, you lose that 100% factor real quick. So, yes, this is going to be a good roller coaster ride, but you're different than your friend, you're different than your sister, you're different than me, I'm different than you. So, how we experience this is a matter of what we want. Manifesting is going to become a little bit more in sync in July. You're going down over the roller coaster. This means things are moving forward. There's less stagnant feel in your life. You're having just a little more fun. Okay. So I'm going to need you to add to that though. Like, I'm going to need you to actively participate in that energy of going over this roller coaster. Meaning, I'm going to need you to add fun and enjoyable activities, things that you're passionate about, into your life patterns. You're going to have more fun. You're going to find a better balance. There are two major areas in everyone's life who is walking through this spiritual awakening. There are two major areas that are out of balance. There's one thing that you absolutely wish you had more of, or you did more of, and there's something else that you absolutely wish you didn't have to do so much. This roller coaster ride is your opportunity to change that balance. If you work too much and you can only join your friends once a week on the bowling league, but you wish you could go 3 times, you know your answer. Okay? Knock them down. So, this is a time to say, okay, what is it that I wish I did less? What is it that I wish I did more? And if there was ever a time to bust through that executive dysfunction and the thing that, like, the procrastination, I couldn't even think of the word. You want to know why? Because I refuse to think I procrastinate. But I do. If you want to break through the procrastination, this is one of those months that I need you to push through it. I need you to push through it. I need you to know that, yes, you can make changes in balance 6 months from now. Absolutely, 100%, right? You're the one writing your story. But if you make those changes this month, and I don't mean on like the 29th, I mean, like, let's get going here, right? If you make those changes this month, they're going to be easier. They're going to fall into place with more simplicity. And I can literally feel, like, some of the listeners going, holy cow, I've already been thinking about making this decision finally. Yes, because that's your intuition. You're feeling the energy that's in the air. You're feeling it already. So run with it. Run with it straight to Joy Street. All right, here we are. So we've been building up spiritual awakening. The last 5 months, 6 months of our life has been a lot of work, a lot of changes, a lot of adjusting, et cetera, et cetera. We are now at that point where, like I said, you know yourself really well now, a whole lot better than you knew yourself before. You know what you want. You're seeing things with more clarity. Remember, shenanigans, don't bring those shenanigans over here. I see them. I see you. Don't do it. And we're like better at boundary setting. Just think about that one for a second. If you're listening to this, I guarantee you're better at boundary setting today than you were 6, 7 years ago. Am I right or am I right? Right? I don't know. That was fun. I think I just wanted to be right. But boundary setting is getting better. Your awareness is next level compared to where it was. Now make some decisions. What do you want less of? What do you want more of? If there's multiple areas in your life that you want less of, cut those down. Okay, you got to reduce, and you got to reduce. If there's multiple areas in your life you want more of, go for it. Go for it. We will always be intelligent about balancing, our life and money and family and friends and all that. We always will. But this is where we need to take that step. Take that step. Now, hopefully you can see how everybody's roller coaster ride is going to be a little different. For some people, it's going to be a really fast ride. For some people, it's going to be more of a slow roll. Nice, maybe it's just cruising on down, nice soft glide, seagull lands next to you and says, oh. You're like, yeah, this is the thing. July is the month where you get to have it. You get to have it and you get to shift it and you're going to be supported. Remember, 95% of this is going to be really smooth. About 5% of this is going to be like a little bit, little kinkier, little and things might crinkle and crackle and all that. It's okay though, because 95% of it's working out just fine. So your task for July, first one's obvious. We've already done it actually while we're here, is recognize how far you come, recognize how much you know about yourself today versus 6, 7, 8 years ago. Another homework assignment we've already done. Look at us. We are so efficient. It's awesome. Is for you to think of the areas that you don't want as much, right? And think of the areas that you do want as much and start laying out a plan and activate that plan this month. Quick reminder, you may have heard me say this before, but it's worth repeating. When we say balance or adjust or make changes, this is not an all or nothing. This is not an all or nothing. If you, unlike me, think I want to run a 10K, right? You don't have to be running a 10K by the end of this. You just have to have a pattern moving in that direction by the end of July, right? So we don't have to have all this fixed in July, but you best start it. You got to start it because the energy is in your favor on this one. All right, a couple other small tasks. If you're a journaler, I want you to write all this stuff down like in a journal and say, okay, here's the plan. If you're a planner, plan. What day are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? How much of it are you going to do? Yes, plan. I'm sitting here kind of chuckling at myself because I've been working toward my physical health for the last couple of years and I'm doing all right. The gal's doing okay. But it was like 4 or 5 days ago that I actually ordered weights to do weight training at home. That's unusual. And then I sat down with Peter yesterday to talk about the energies in the air, and now I'm linking it together. I do want to improve my fitness. Like that's an area that I want to focus more of my time on. All right, now I just gotta, follow my own, teachings and figure out what areas I want to cut back on. We can do this. We've got this. We've got this. Now I'm gonna share a story with you. And it's kind of funny. It's a little confessional. Here we go. Before we get to story time, I've got something really cool to share with you, and I think you're going to really like it. Okay, I'm launching a new series on YouTube called Medium on the Move. It is really cool. This is what we do. I physically go to different unique, unusual, or odd locations, and I bring you, the viewer, energetically to that location for you to tap in and see what you pick up on that location. I'll be tapping in I'll tell you what I pick up too. Absolutely. This is like next level remote viewing practice. It's going to be a lot of fun. And there'll be, scrying exercises, mediumship exercises, and such in there too. It is going to be really, really cool. I haven't seen anything like this on YouTube in the spiritual areas yet. So we're going to be watching the first episode. The first episode is free. We're going to do a live watch party on July 11th. I'll be there. I hope you can join me. And this is really important too. If you are a Sage Circle member on my online spiritual community, the Medium on the Move episodes are going to be included in your membership. Okay. If you're not a Sage Circle member yet, I highly, highly, highly suggest you check out the membership because it's fantastic. That's where I do all my lives. I do live card readings, live Q&As, live meditations, full moon, new moon. It is a place that is an absolute high vibe, and it really enhances your spiritual journey. I'll say that. Plus, it's full of amazing people. So please go check that out. And I'll see you on July 11th for the live launch of Medium on the Move. Okay, I told you this was going to be confessional, and it is. I might have got, in my defense, a little overexcited. So here's what happened. But let me preface by saying I don't get talked to or yelled at too much by my guides because I'm pretty good at following their instructions. But when I do, I find it funny. And yes, I got yelled at by my guide. Here we go. So, Medium on the Move. We got the green light for the production of it. I am so excited. I can't stand it. I'm going to be traveling to all these different locations. I'm going to bring you with me energetically. I'm like, yes. So, what's the first step to do, Bo? Find somewhere to travel to. And I got to tell you, I went right to travel. Now, I love to travel. Like, it's ridiculous. I love to travel. And so I kind of just went right into where do I want to go? I know it's because I was excited. And I found this beautiful beach in the southern part of Portugal and booked an Airbnb, and it was wonderful. And I was fully in travel mode. Later that afternoon, the Airbnb canceled. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And then my guide showed up and said, you're not supposed to go there. And I was like, what? And he's like, Medium on the Move isn't a show that comes along with where you want to go. We need to be talking about where and when you should be going to different locations, especially if this is going to be an energetic program and you're bringing people energetically to the locations. You're going to need to, kind of chat with me about that. And I was like, all right, I get it. That's fine. So, and that's fair. I felt a little bad, but it was like I was like a kid being able to like push the button to book Disney World, I was like, yay, I get to travel. So anyway, he said, okay, you can go there, but you can't go there till October. So I reached back out to her and I said, can I go there in October? She goes, yes, that's perfect. So she rebooked me in October. So I still get to go to this great place that I wanted to go to. But yeah, sometimes you got to be talked to, and that's completely fine. It's been going great though. Now I sit down with him and say, okay, here's a bunch of ideas. And he'll say this one, and he'll throw out times and such. So, and plus I'm working with my team. They help me find places and we all talk to the guides. It works out great. So if you get yelled at your guides every now and then, I mean, you're doing it right, right? Okay, let's go talk to Peter. Let's go talk to him. If you've listened to a couple of the podcast episodes, you may have noticed that I don't have any advertising in them. And I do this on purpose because my reason for being here with you is to talk about your intuition, to bring it into your day-to-day life, because everyone is intuitive. Everyone is intuitive. I've been teaching people how to hone their intuition, how to access their already natural, strong intuition for well over 15 years all over the globe. It is my calling. It's my job to remind you of how incredible you are, how intuitive you are, and say, here's how you open up that intuitive channel of yours that is already super strong. I've been teaching this through a course called the Sage Method. So you might hear me reference it. It's a 7-week development course. And that, along with free tools and a whole bunch of other really great stuff, I keep it all in one place. It's at thesagemethod.com. So go over there, see what you're pulled to, and start honing your intuition. It's time to talk to Peter. It's time to find out what energies are in the air and how they affect you. Now, Peter's my guide if this is the first time you're watching these videos, and he taps into the global energy, but he speaks of it in a way that is applicable to your life. So here we go. I'm going to be quiet for a minute. I'll be back shortly to let you know what I see, feel, and hear from my guide. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, the first thing he's showing me is trees, fruits, berries. Specifically, like I can see a bowl of raspberries, I can see a bowl of cherries, a bowl of blueberries, trees. Now, this is a feeling of being very connected, like hunting and gathering kind of thing, without the hunting part, okay? I said hunting and gathering. He was like, just gathering. looking for resources. I'm just repeating what he's saying. Looking for resources in your life from a different source, different location, different way to acquire these things. Okay, I'm just going to sit quiet again for a second, see how that all comes together. Okay, I see you collecting information, and in this metaphor, it's you're collecting fruit and such from another person. And it's time to stop collecting fruit from that person. It's time to go out and get fruit from a different location. So this is kind of a multiple message. The first layer of it that's coming through, I know it's an unusual way for it to come through, right? With gathering berries, but the analogy works, okay? Part of this is shifting the people. Part of this is searching out people who are more excited about about their berries and their gardens and supplying you with their products. And again, we're still in metaphor. I'll break this down a little bit more. So it's the people, looking for people who are more excited about life, who are more excited about what they do, where they go, how they live. It's asking for you to level up, right? First, I see the regular person who's always around you, giving you a bowl of fruits and berries, and they're kind of wilting, right? They're not as nourishing. I see you go somewhere else. They're most beautiful fruit you've ever seen. Here's the next part of this. This is important for you, for your physical well-being, for your energetic well-being. And I don't know if there's awareness around how the outside resources have been pulling down on you. Now, for some people, this is going to be blaringly obvious, and they're going to be like, yep, I needed this. This was the message so that I can start shifting from this group to this, or from these people or this atmosphere to this atmosphere. More positivity, less negativity. For some people, this is going to be a moment where you have to sit and think, how much negativity am I really around? That's a good thing to do, because we can get in a pattern of getting very used to who we're around, what we're doing, and it can go south, and it can go south so slow that we don't realize it. So please, this message is saying, take a moment to look at your friend group, look at your work group, look at your environment, look at your habits, look at the way you spend your day. Anything that can be raised in vibration, lifted a little higher, brought in a little bit more positivity is going to be very, very good for you. Very, very good for you. I love the analogy too, fruits and berries gathering. It's curate your life activities from new sources. That's your message today. Anything else coming through with that? No? All right. Today, Peter is making a point to send love, like as a boost. You can receive that if you so choose to receive that. We never send without permission. But at the very end of this, he just sent out a whole bunch of that kind of high vibration love energy. So hopefully that will spark something and get you moving in a really good direction. That's our goal. All right. I'll see you next week.
This podcast is brought to you by The Sage Method, the most comprehensive and down-to-earth intuitive development training available. Is this your year? Is it finally your time to increase your intuition, bring in more abundance, and experience the bliss you deserve? If yes, then join thousands of students across the world for a 7-week journey to uncover your natural, beautiful, and strong intuition. Visit us at thesagemethod.com for more information.